And I'll give you a little look around if you follow me this way. This house is completely demolished. There's insulation everywhere, a sofa and a mattress right over here. Well, the rain is still coming down pretty hard, and there is some flooding in a few areas. You can see there's a car driving through that floodwater. In just a second, I'm going to show you just how deep that water actually is. 4 people are dead. 1 person found dead inside of the house, 3 found dead in the backyard. They are all family members, police say, but that's all we know for now. Light traffic right now on I-10 after a car collided with a FedEx truck. I'm going to take a step out of the way, and I wanted to try my luck at one of these games today, so we're just going to give it a go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're having a great time out here. A very emotional night as friends, family, and loved ones gather to remember a life that was taken too soon. Yeah, Ashley, well, there are new charges and new arrests, all involving people who worked closely with Nia Bradley. That's right, Andrea. Well, take a look. A very active scene behind me. There are several MPD and Mobile Sheriff's officers out here on I-10 East after an 18-wheeler was headed the wrong way down I-10. Yeah, Kim, and neighbors tell me the victims were a church-going family. They never expected this to happen in their quiet community. Although the parade ended hours ago, people are still downtown letting the good times roll. I continue to have a large contingency of officers throughout the Mardi Gras season. I did, but city leaders refuse to discuss their plans with me. Coming up at 10, hear more from Judge Naiman and why he says social media is one of the main culprits of youth violence. That's right, Kim, and some shoppers I spoke with today told me they have to break the bank just to get the necessities.
The Alabama Village community is at risk for potentially getting its water shut off by the Pritchard Water Board. Tonight, we have learned one household in the Alabama Village neighborhood in Pritchard has been without water for 2 months now. The homeowner who lives there is disabled and bedridden. NBC 15's Karris Harmon joins us now. Karris, you spoke with the man and his wife. They said all of their water bills were up to date and say they've been getting the runaround from the utility company.
Yeah, Kim, he's lived there for almost 30 years and tells me he's never had any problems with his water until recently.
I can get up and down in my wheelchair. My wife has to pick me up and put me in my wheelchair just to roll outside.
Paul McGuire had polio in his right leg, has a pinched nerve in his back, and cirrhosis in his liver, leaving him bedridden. He tells me what makes things even worse is that he hasn't had running water in over 2 months.
My wife can't even, she has to go to her mother in Chickasaw just to take a bath. And then me have to get water jug filled up from my neighbors and friends to help me. When it rains, we set a garbage can outside just to catch the rain water, bad rainwater, to fill the tub up or the toilet, to flush the toilet. Or clean the sink, to wash dishes, things like that. And she boils it. I mean, that's outrageous.
He tells me about 2 months ago, the Pritchard Water Board sent people in his area a letter saying they were going to temporarily shut off their water because they needed to check it, but it was turned back on shortly after.
And then the next day they come to my house and they had an envelope to read my meter. So they told my wife, she went in the backyard and they looked at the meter and they read it, and then 5 minutes later they pulled my meter.
After the water was shut off, the McGuires were slapped with a water bill for over $2,000. McGuire and his wife say they don't know how that could be possible because they were up to date on their bills. They say their water bill is usually around $138 per month.
I said when I pay October bill, I pay it every month. I need my water cut back on.
They called the water board trying to find a solution. They say they were told to pay the $2,000 bill to get their water turned back on. Karris Harmon, NBC 15 News.
Well, tonight, some good news for the McGuires. After we made calls to the water board, board member Cherry Doyle took action and got the water turned back on about 7 o'clock tonight. For the first time in 2 months, the McGuires have water flowing out of their faucets. They can now drink, bathe, and clean without having to rely on friends and family.
Thank you for Channel 15 for answering my needs.
A historic building in Pritchard has been demolished and has many people upset and asking why.
It's a place where well-known African-American musicians like B.B. King would spend the night after playing to sold-out shows.
A day after its demolition, the owner and members of the community are calling on Pritchard city officials to give them some answers.
NBC 15's Karris Harmon joins us now live. Here's the owners considering taking legal action because he says he was blindsided, now calling the community to stand with him.
That's right, Kim and Andrea, a call to action emerging from the rubble.
If the city can just go around and start tearing people's property down, then what rights do we have?
Rubble has replaced where the historic Harlem Duke Hotel used to stand. Donald Hunter, a prominent business owner and owner of the former hotel, says he was blindsided by the demolition.
We proposed to the city a plan of restoring this building, making it a cultural center, so we can do things to help the community.
The Harlem Duke Hotel housed major artists like B.B. King, Etta James, and Ray Charles during its heyday. Hunter says the city did not give him his due process and the timing couldn't be any worse.
How can you dare do something like this in Black History Month? This is Black history. You tore down Black history. The city of Pritchard is black. It's a black administration tearing down our own history. Shame on them.
Gabriel Dortch, a man active in the community, saying to call it what it is, black on black oppression.
They try to blame it on Caucasian Americans, that they the one that's holding us down. No, it's them. It's them. Pritchard got a black mayor, fully black council, all department heads are black, fire chief black. How in the world are you gonna blame that on white folks?
As crews were removing the rubble, Mayor Jimmy Gardner arrived. He says the process was followed and says the owners have had years to take some kind of action. Gardner says it should have been taken down years ago.
Beyond an eyesore, it's a danger to the public. I would think it'd be a failure on our part to mix black history with this monstrosity of a building that has been there for a number of years.
Carletta Davis took me to a city-owned location off of Main Boulevard where the old armory used to be, saying if the Harlem Hotel is a monstrosity, then what is this? She says the city is missing out on a major opportunity to get the foot in the door of the cultural tourism industry.
This could have been a tourist destination for people to come from all over the world to see world-class history. And we've torn it down. We've reduced it to rubble.
In a statement from the Pritchard City Attorney, Moshe Donald says the property was dilapidated for years. She says, quote, due to the continuing hazard and failure to repair, the city was forced to take action. This is a continuing effort to clean and revitalize a community that has suffered from blight for far too long. Hunter says the building has a special meaning to him because years ago his twin brother lost his life there. Kim, Andrea.